share today is going to be something that they can use today, tomorrow, next week, all their lives.
We're talking about money.
They arrived at Wilson Senior High School before the first bell rang. A trickle at first, then a steady stream of finance industry professionals intent on one thing: teaching children to save.
Teach Children to Save is a campaign that's national in scope. It's to empower students with financial skills, and bankers lead the effort all over the country, going in and teaching kids money skills, budgeting, the idea of needs and wants.
Sponsored by the American Bankers Association and armed with Operation Hope's award-winning Banking on Our Future curriculum, volunteers gave ninth graders a crash course in the basics of money management.
This is an item that you have expenses for things you spend on, and you have income, and it's a plan. Starts with a B.
A what?
You would have bills in this plan. Budget, thank you very much.
This top-of-their-profession group of volunteers came from nearly every facet of the financial industry, from local banks all the way to the U.S. Treasury Department.
That's a good check. Yeah, all right.
Treasury cares a lot about financial education, and one of the things we learned from the recent crisis is that we really need to make sure people have the financial knowledge and skills they need to navigate our financial system. And that's particularly important for students today, for making sure that the next generation is really prepared to navigate their own financial futures more successfully.
According to a recently published study by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, nearly 25% of American households do not use traditional banks, relying instead on check cashers and payday lenders.
A few years ago, we talked about people being banked and unbanked, and the unbanked were the individuals that didn't have an account with a traditional bank and were using check cashers, pawn shops, and other means to cash their checks. Now we have a population called underbanked, and those individuals are not fully utilizing all the services and products that a bank can offer.
So how do you change that? Ask these volunteers and they will tell you the key to a successful banking relationship is knowledge.
If you get information about handling your money that's sound principle, like spend less than you make, that's a pretty basic. If you can get that under your belt and really put it into action, it can change your life, the whole scope of what you do as an adult going forward, and what you teach your own young people when you have them. So Teach Children to Save is a part of all of that, and the Finance Academy gives them practical day-to-day lessons. And so I think that's a super opportunity for the students in the school.
Everything that we bought was 10% off, and we charged it. But the interest rate on our credit card is 14.5%, and we're not paying for it. We didn't pay it off at the end of the month. Did we actually get it on sale? We actually paid more for it than what it was when it wasn't on sale, right? Aha.
With just a couple of hours in the classroom, volunteer Lionel Savage says it's important to give students lessons they can relate to.
I walked a person who has had a cell phone since the second grade, $300 average use per month, calculates at $3,600 a year, times 10, that's $36,000. I had just asked them, where do you want to go to school? Well, for every college that they mentioned, the $36,000 would have paid for a year's worth of education. So that was the, kind of the punch in the gut at the beginning of the class. You've just talked your way out of a year's worth of education. So we can tell that it doesn't matter even how much education you have, socioeconomic status, race, gender. We don't know enough about money.
But these students are now armed with a solid foundation about money that should serve them and their families well for the rest of their lives.
I think it was a really good experience, and I really like learning about finances. I want to be an accountant.